Okay. So, sorry. I think during this particular slide, we were told to hurry up. So I could not cover both the slide in detail. So I thought I'll take you through this, and then we can keep the rest of the session for Q&A. Yeah. So does anybody have any other questions about SME, or the SME IPO? If there are, let's take it first before we go into how to identify right set of SME. Yeah. So I'll just so please raise your hand if you have any questions. And okay, all right. So I'm assuming everybody understand what SME is. So let's start with the first point, the total addressable market. Yeah. So basically, in SME, since the company is a very small, initially like 100 crore or around 200 crore, the we need to look at the market size or the market which the company operates in. If the market is big enough, then this particular company will also find its niche and will also receive the order. So eventually growing, by leaps and bounds because of a very small base the particular company has. Now, how do we identify whether the market is big or not? Basically, it is very common sense. We can, we can use it to understand. Wherever we don't understand, you can look at the RHP. I'll also open an RHP. Uh, so, can, so we'll open the one which closed yesterday. SD retail, for an example. Yeah. So I've gone to the Chittorgarh side and I'm opening the RHP. It's over here. You can see here. I'll just open that. Yeah. Okay, it's already there. Fine, no problem. So if you go to any RHP, you will be able to see the industry overview given here. Yeah. And they will tell you how this particular industry is growing in the globe as well as in India. Yeah. So you can see all of this report to understand whether the market is big enough, whether the company has a decent road ahead or not. Yeah. And so usually most of the RHP will have the global view and followed by the India specific view as well. Okay. Moving on to the next point, operating margin. So you can just open the screener and look at the operating margin of the company. Now, the problem is that since the company are pretty small, if operating margins are not good enough, during any kind of economic downturn or recession, the company will have very tough time in managing their trade receivable, managing their working capital cycle, and they won't be able to get funds from the bank that easily. So we need to always prepare for the worst. So that's why I always keep higher the profit margin, the better. Yeah. We can also look at the peer comparison to see whether the company has a healthy margin in the sector that it works on. Yeah. Many times in a EPC business, we'll see only a single digit margin, and if you compare that with let's say a IT service business, obviously the margin will be much higher on the IT services. So we need to also check whether the sector itself is a low margin sector, and we can look at the peer comparison while ascertaining that fact. Yeah. So if I go back to this particular RHP once again, you can see over here there is something called basis of issue price. Yeah. And if you go there, you'll be able to see some peer comparison given over here. Yeah, for an example, I'll just increase the size. So you can see that SD retail, yeah, has given a peer comparison with Go Fashion, Bella Casa, and SP Apparel. These are all the three other listed company operating in a similar sector. Yeah. And if you go below, you will be able to also see them, the company's margins, as well as with this company as well. Yeah. For an example, here you can see SD Retail has roughly around 8.5 margin, while Go Fashion has around 32%. Yeah. While Bella Casa again similar range as SD Retail, while SP Apparel has better margin than that. Yeah. So here you will be able to compare the operating margin of the company that we are looking at versus its peer, and then you decide whether this particular company has what it takes to make it big. Yeah. I hope I'm still audible. Yeah. Kamaljit Sarji.
Yes, sir. You're audible, sir.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. All right. The next is the order book. Now, this part is a bit tricky. Sometimes in the RHP, they do mention the order book. Okay, they mentioned the completed order versus the open order, what they have, and the tentative time period for completion of that. Yeah. So wherever it's not mentioned, you can try to ask them in some kind of investor con call which happens. There are IPO roadshow which happens where you can go and ask the company um, what will be the order book for this particular year. Yeah. Just to give you an example, I'll open a RHP of EPC company which came recently. So just a moment. So yeah, for an example, Popular Fashion. Yeah. So this company is into the construction, and it constructs various hospitals and college buildings and stuff like that. Yeah. Where is the RHP? Yeah. Usually the order book information will be there in the business overview section. Yeah. So here it is around 99. Yeah. So we'll say 100. All right. And once you go down here, so company had, I think this company had around 12, 13 crore or order there. Just so I think we came little. Uh, yeah. So you can see over here the details of ongoing project. Yeah. And the details of the completed project. Okay. So you can figure out, okay, for an example, the total of all of this is what company has made for so and so years, and this is the open order book which the company has. Here they've given the order book in terms of built up area in square kilometer, and you can take some kind of educated guess that okay, it will take like 400, 500 rupees for wall and stuff like that, and a little bit more for furnishing something. Yeah. And you'll be able to have a kind of a rough idea how much revenue this particular company will make in the coming years. I hope this is visible and you guys are able to follow this. If not, please interrupt me and ask me questions.
Done.
Hello, Chintan ji. Hello. I think so. He got disconnected.
Hello, Kamaljit ji. Sorry, can you tell me when did you lost me?
Hello.
Hello, am I audible? After order
You were
book.
telling
Okay.
you were telling about order books.
Okay, sure. Okay, so after order book, the next part is the IPO proceeds. Yeah. Okay. So on the IPO proceeds, basically company tells you how the funds that they are raising for the IPO will be utilized for. Wherever we see offer for sale in any IPO, in such
Sir,
cases.
your slide is not visible.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I thought I was sharing, but I think sharing also stopped. Okay, I hope this is visible now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. So after the order book, I hope you guys saw the order book of Popular. Can someone confirm that?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Yeah, but did you see this order book of Popular Foundation, which I was showing?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So the next topic is the IPO proceeds. Now, for IPO proceeds, the purpose of the IPO, right? The funds that they are going to gather, what are they going to utilize for? So there are two things. Some IPOs will have offer for sale. Now, wherever you see offer for sale, the money that is being collected via the offer for sale component is not going to go to the company, but it is going to go to the selling shareholder, whether it could be the promoter, it could be some early investor who is looking for either full or partial exit. So remaining of the funds, we need to understand how the company is planning to utilize. Now, whether the company is looking to utilize it for, buying a new, let's say, acquiring a new company in either similar field or either investing into a subsidiary, where the company is planning to open their own a new production facility, a new line, new factory somewhere? Are they investing into uh, a solar power plant, yeah, captive solar power plant? Our company planning to utilize for debt reduction or for working capital management, yeah. Sometimes we also see some promoters utilize debt retirement, but here the debt which is being retired is mainly their car loans or house loans, or which is not going to directly benefit the company by increasing the revenue, but it will at least just add a small improvement on their bottom line, because the interest payment which is going out to the company now is not gonna go once the debt is retired. Yeah. So wherever you see this kind of thing, you can assume that the promoter has taken a little shorter view of the company and put their private asset into the company's books. So you need to be a little bit wary and don't hold this company for long if you see this kind of pattern coming up again and again in the same company. Now, where to see IPO proceeds? So we'll go to as it dreams. So here you can see there is something called objects of the issue. This is the IPO proceeds related information you'll find in a much more detail. Now for Sweet Dreams, which is into the nightwear segment, we can see that company plans to utilize certain funds for opening their own brand outlets. For some funds for the working capital requirement, and other is something what they want to do, yeah, which they don't have identified the purpose of. Now, if you see, they want to establish, around 65 odd EBOs, and they're going to put around roughly 9 crore to it, while 25 crore will go towards the working capital requirement. If you go a little bit below this, you'll be able to see how much they're going to incur year on year on their EBO. Now, for an example, you can see the average revenue. As you can see, average revenue for their exclusive brand outlet is increasing from roughly 31 lakhs to 37 lakhs to 59 lakhs. Yeah. So increasing more such EBO will definitely add towards the company's top line, and hopefully, if they are able to deliver on the opening of the 65 new outlets, we'll see this company delivering pretty very good set of revenue coming forward. Yeah. Now, if we go a little bit more detail into this, we'll see how much company has budgeted for opening where into the details. We don't need to go into this right now. Similarly, on the working capital, they'll also showcase how much working capital they think they will need, and how that will affect the account receivables and account payables as well. Uh, any questions so far? Okay. The next is the trade receivable. So being a small company, they don't have a bargaining power or purchasing power or selling power. So they ended up with a very large or let's say longer payment terms of 45 days, 60 days, or even worse than that. We need to realize how much of that amount is sitting in the trade receivable and for how long. So we can look at the trade receivables which are more than 6 months old as a barometer to understand how company or whether the company will realize this particular revenue into their books as a cash or not. Yeah. How do we do that? So we can have a look at it initially into the company's financial statement. So I'll go back into the RHP. So if you go to the summary of financial information, and you can see over here, in the current asset, you can see the trade receivable mentioned over here. Yeah. So now trade receivable, as you can see, is increasing along with the revenue. And if we want, we can also further analyze this. Okay. So let's go to here. They break down each and every figures that has been put into the financial statement, and we'll just put it trade. It's not coming. Okay, fine. Let's search manually. Okay. So you'll see the bucketing of the trade receivable. How many are older, for more than 6 months, more than 1 year, so and so forth. So this is a trade payable aging schedule, which you can see over here. Now we need to find the trade receivable aging schedule. Okay, over here. So I'll just increase the screen a little bit so you can see this. So out of 81 crore trade receivable, they considered 81.45 as good, but they considered around 1.7 crore trade receivable as doubtful. Yeah. So they will be carrying this in the books till they write it off. Yeah. And we can see how much aging which is there in this particular trade receivable. So at least out of 81 crore, we can feel good that at least 75 crore will come to the company. Okay, while remaining are older than 6 months, and the likelihood that they're not gonna come is much higher. Yeah. So out of total 83 crore of debt, we can at least realize that okay, company might receive 75 crore of the amount into their books as cash. Okay. The next portion is the related party transaction, and basically what it means is that sometimes company provides loans to the promoter or the promoter entity. Sometimes promoter provides loan to the company and vice versa. There is a sale or purchase happening with their group entity, and we need to understand how much does this corresponds. Yeah, whether is the promoter entity is the majority of their customer or supplier, and how this relationship is working. So if you go into the summary of a document in the initial pages, you'll be able to see here related party transactions. Yeah, where you can see which are the key managerial persons as well as the group entity. So you can see earlier all the names and relatives of the promoter, and you can see the name of the company which are there, which are where promoter or the director or the KMPs have a significant stake. Yeah. And you can see here how much salary does the company is paying to various director or the promoter, if there is a loan received or repaid, if there is an interest which has been given, if there are any other services. Uh, yeah, there are open balances from various companies. For an example, Intimate Apparel Association of India, uh, there is a outstanding amount of 0.77 crore. Yeah. So this can give us information how clean the books are. Uh, we also need to look at it with respect to the total revenue of the company, and how much the revenue coming from any of this group entity. Yeah. To understand whether the customers of the company are genuine customers or not. Okay. Promoter remuneration, again, this is something which is a ballpark. We can always figure that okay, a growing company promoter will take, some promoters also take more than 2 crores. Some promoter takes 20 lakhs as well. So it's we need to understand the intention of the promoter. How much does he put into the company? And the remuneration is not only the salary that he draws. So salary as a promoter, salary as a director, salary or interest on the loan which are given, the rent of the property, etc., etc. And this can tell you whether the promoter is genuinely interested in growing the company by keeping the cash into the company rather than taking it out. Next is the issue expense. So here, now what happens, if you want to bring an IPO of a company, you can do it as low as like 40 lakhs as well. While we see issue expense ranging in crores, 1 crore to 3 crore or even more than that. What happens is that many times there are certain activity which goes beyond uh, the IPO related processes. There are various investor con call which happens. There are meet and greet sessions which are there in various hotels in few key cities like Ahmedabad, Rajkot, Jaipur, Bombay, Delhi, etc., etc. Uh, so plus they hire certain marketing companies to market this. They also sometimes incentivize the grey brokers as well to ensure that there is a grey market premium which is there into the issue, because many of the investors don't have time to go through all this information which I was just showing. And there was a question also on the grey market premium, so let me take that. So Mr. Naresh asked me that sometime at the time of IPO, SME IPO, opening GMP, which is the grey market price, shows good return, but at the time of listing, all percentage vanish. So basically, what happens is that let's say I'm not saying that who does this, but sometimes let's say if I am the merchant banker, I will call up the grey broker and say, okay, I'll be able to absorb all the bids. I'll initially take off 10 bids or 20 bids, say that at a certain price. Let's assume at 20 rupees premium, and then it starts the ball running, and I give the confirmation to the grey broker saying, okay, minimum we're going to open the uh, IPO at 20 rupees premium, so that grey market broker goes and start taking the bids from his contacts. Yeah. Now sometimes what happens is that due to certain prevalent market conditions, some other negative information which comes out, the buying interest dies down, and sometimes the price on which it lists less than the GMP. Yeah. Now for a gray broker, he doesn't need to worry because he has a two-way kind of a deals, so he is usually covered, because he just takes 1 rupee or 2 rupee from buyer as well as 1 or 2 rupee from seller, or whatever, however is the larger hedge that he does. The merchant banker also doesn't lose anything because he has already made his money from the promoter from the IPO proceed. The only people who are, let's say, burnt are either the people who have done the great deals or people who have invested into the company via IPO and have not sold that particular stock or sold it at a discount. Okay. Now, just to show you, there are few sites you can use to look at the GMP. But again, use this as a barometer. Okay, one is called IPOpremium.in. You can use this gray market premium, but they are not always correct. Okay, you may, you have to use your own, let's say, wits to decide whether you want to apply for this IPO or not. For an example, Avi Anshai said, I'm not going to apply. And it opened a little bit higher than 2 rupees premium. Yeah. I think it was 9 rupees or something. Okay. While SD Retail opened little less than the premium it was quoting for. And Phoenix Oversea opened at a flat. Yeah. So for an example, Phoenix, the last deal happened at 15 rupees, while opening was at a 0 rupees premium. Yeah. Bikewo, I think it was a discount. Kalana, there was no trade and it opened as a discount. So don't go by this. Many times there are some manipulation which happens. If I am a merchant banker or a grey market broker who calls up this particular website and say, okay, put 20 rupees or 50 rupees on this particular company, he will do that, and many people will either do the grey deals or apply to the IPO and will suffer because the listing happens on a discount. Yeah, I see there is some, like, how to increase probability of, okay. I'll Shailin bhai, I'll take your questions a little later. Yep. Okay, so moving on to the issue expense. Now is the social media. There are certainly some information you can get from the Twitter. Just go and search for a particular IPO which is coming in. Uh, there are people who really do very good work, and it's available. So you search any of the upcoming new IPO. Let's say, for an example, let's talk about diffusion. Okay. So just do a okay, diffusion. Maybe not the right word. I'll put KRN. So you can see a lot of information. You will get it from Twitter as well, and once you start going through this, you will realize okay, who are the good Twitter handle who can give you right set of information. Yeah. For an example, what is his name? So this guy is does publish some information time to time. Okay. See, for an example, he has given a review of Tech Era over here. Okay. So this guy has given the Tech Era SME IPO review. Yeah. Okay. Then there is Rahul Arya who publishes one pager. Yeah. So for an example, this is the review of OSL devices. Then there is Focus SME who does he who uses his own template. So yeah, I mean, just search for it and you'll realize who are the good handle. Just put the ticker name of the IPO, and you will get certain information from social media. Yeah, there are certain YouTube handle where you can see the commentary or the interview of the management. So basically, people like okay, Aditya. Hmm, just a moment. Aditya. Avinash, sorry, Avinash Gorakheshwar. So this guy does a lot of interview with various promoters. I'll just find his YouTube channel. 1 second.
What is the name, Mr.?
Avinash Gorakheshwar. Yeah. So he does this, face-to-face corporate series where you can see Pelatro, SD Retail, Zenith Drug. Okay. I'll just put that into the Zoom as well. Yeah. Then there is another guy, Samfu Jain. He does another one. SAB Mitra channel he has. Yeah. He also talks to a few, let's say, promoters like SD Retail. He has also spoken to. Yeah. Now, please remember, these guys do get paid for this kind of activity. So sometimes their views are not as detailed. They might not highlight all the things, but at least this will give you some idea about what the company does. Yeah, without reading through the RHP. Okay, moving on. The past track record of LM. Yeah. Now, in a SME IPO, due diligence of lead manager or merchant banker is very, very important. There is also a lot of talk happening. If you see the recent news which are happening, SEBI merchant bank, you'll see that there is SEBI is tightening the bell. See, for an example, SEBI launches investigation into more than 12 domestic merchant bankers over SME IPO due diligence. Yeah. SEBI is planning to make a certain more regulation into the merchant banking, make it more tougher. They're asking 100 merchant bankers to submit their licenses. Yeah. So all that adds up to the hype of for an example, more than 100 merchant bankers could lose a SEBI license. Yeah. So this brings the attention. Who brings this particular IPO? Now, for an example, if you look at that's a tech era, okay, you'll see who is the merchant banker over here. That is Ski Capital. It's owned by Ganesh Nagpal. Now you can see Ganesh Nagpal's Ski Capital's various IPO. So you can see he brought first company which was Macops, and this is the second IPO that he's bringing in as a lead manager. Okay, if you see some other, let's say, thinking heads, yeah. So you can see it is by Horizon Financial, and you can see the performance summary or performance tracker of this particular lead manager. Okay, so okay, why ICICI Security? Okay. So if you click here, you'll be able to see the performance of all the merchant banker which are there. For an example, Haim Security brought 25 IPO in 2024. 24 of them was positive. Yeah. So this definitely gives a lot of. So if Haim brings out an IPO, then we'll see higher subscription, and there is a chance of negative listing is less. Beeline, which is owned by Nikhil Baisha, similarly 23 out of 23 all positive. Shreni, it's Parth Shah, again 14 out of 14. So we can see the track record of all of this LM, which is very good, and that builds the hype. That shows higher subscription, also shows higher gray market activity as well. While if you see at the bottom, you can see how many of IPO came, how did that perform. Yeah. Okay. Promoter background, you can go to the promoter related information, understand the educational background of the promoter, uh, and you can see how other companies of the promoter. But if you want to really understand the drive, you'll have to meet the promoter in person, or you'll have to hear him in this kind of interviews and see uh, the way he answers, the answers that he gives are justified, are something that gives you confidence, and then you should make your own decision whether to apply or not. If you want to see or learn about the promoter, you can see over here in the IPO RHP, you can see our management, our promoters. Yeah. So in our management, you'll see all the directors, and if they hold any other directorship in various other companies. And if you go down, you'll see the promoter related information. So yeah, so this is the Mr. Hitesh Ruparelia. Okay, his address, his PAN account is the companies where he is owning. Okay, and you'll be able to understand at least from the written information about the qualification that the promoter is having. Yeah. Next is the anchor names. Many of the so earlier I explained you there are two types of IPO. One is the fixed price, another is called book built. So if the IPO is a book built IPO, let's go to same SD retail only. So we'll see that SD Retail, you can see over here, SD Retail was a book build issue. That means that it will have an anchor book. Yeah. Now you can see around 28.5% of the shares were allocated to the anchor, around 19% to QIB, 14% to HNIs, and 33% to the retail. Yeah. Now, if you look at the anchor book, and now for anchor, the 50% of the shares can be sold only after the 30 days, that is 25th October, and remaining 50% can be sold after 90 days, which is December 24. Now, these two dates are definitely important because if there is a anchor selling which happens during this period and it's not absorbed, we'll see the stock of the SME company going down. Yeah. Let's see who were the anchor investors. So you click and look at the anchor book. Now, based on your reading of the anchor book, you'll realize some names are definitely good, other you won't be able to understand who is behind those. So for an example, I know Nev Capital very well, Vinit Arora ji, and I have interacted many times, so I know that he picks very good SME companies to invest in, which does not have a lot of shady things which are going on. Yeah, many of the others are, let's say, you and I can also participate, and we can give a name like this, FinaVenue or IMAP or Benani Capital, for an example. Yeah, where even though it's their name, in the end, it's our money which is being deployed here through certain activities. Yeah, but we will not be able to understand about who is behind each of this. Certain names you'll be able to figure out based on the time that you spend in the market. Yeah. I hope I'm still audible and you guys can follow me.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The next is pre-IPO investor. So the reason why I said SD Retail I wanna invest in big time is because of the one of the pre-IPO investor. Uh, so if we let me show you what did I do to find that, so that you can also follow the same thing. Now, how do you find out who has invested into this company? So you go into the capital structure. Yeah? In the capital structure, if you go into the this particular portion, you'll see that okay, there was whether there was any private placements or not. Yeah, so you can see there is some private placement which happened. So let's see who was the company which took this. Yeah, so we can see that okay, Chanakya Corporate Services and Chanakya Value Creation, these two companies have invested. Now this particular two companies is known to me. This is owned by Utpal Sheth and Nipa Sheth, who were very close associate of Mr. Rakesh Jhunjhunwala. Yeah. So this was one of the reasons saying that okay, if these guys have put their money, then definitely they're not gonna make losses in this. They must have seen something in the promoter. So it's good to see it's good to take the bet into this company as well. Yeah. And if you see the listing of this company, we saw that a very very big whale of Indian investing world. Yeah, Mr. Matthew Syriac and his wife have also taken a quite big chunk on listing in SD Retail. Yeah, so we should see that SD Retail should do much better from here onwards. Yeah. All right, employee PF data. So this you can figure out now. Many times, what happens is that the employee number which is mentioned over there in the RHP may not meet the PF data that has been given. The reason could be that some of the employees are not eligible for PF, and for them ESIC insurance has been given. Some of them are on contract. So you have to take this data with a pinch of salt and figure out if the company is telling the truth or not. But how you can use this to your advantage is that for a service oriented company, the growth in the employee number will definitely indicate that the company is growing, and you'll be able to verify that with the employee PF data. Book build issue, I just explained, it has a higher probability because of anchor book. Nobody would like to lose money. So wherever you see a book build issues, apply those IPO. Chances are that you're not going to lose your money that easily. Yeah. Subscription. So wherever nowadays, earlier this was not the case, but now the SME IPO sees a crazy amount of subscription. So I say if it is 50x or more, then it's a good subscription and we'll see a decent listing. Otherwise, there could be a negative listing possible. Yeah. And the gray market price, GMP, I've just explained you how that can be used for either positive or negative indication. Yeah. Now we can take the questions. So there was a questions on the increasing the IPO allotment. So see, there is no trick here. Either you increase number of demat account through which you are applying, or you apply for multiple lots. Uh, that's the only Ramban Upay which is there. There are some companies which are, if their parent company is already listed, you buy one share of that company and you can also apply through the shareholder quota. So in such cases, you can have two application, one under the shareholder quota, which is not more than 13 lots, or it could, and another application could be a retail or a HNI application that you can do. Yeah. So this is how you can increase the chances of allotment. There is no other jugaad which is possible, unfortunately. Yeah. So now we'll open up for Q&A if there are any question and answers. If there are any questions, please feel free to ask me.
Hello, sir. Good evening. Uh, Hello. May I
Yeah,
audible, sir?
yes, go ahead.
सर ये HNI में 2 लॉट अप्लाई करें या 10 लॉट अप्लाई करें तो वो कैसे डिसाइड करेंगे? ये मीन्स सब्सक्रिप्शन के हिसाब से डिसाइड कर सकते हैं? मीन्स 50x सब्सक्रिप्शन हुआ है HNI कैटेगरी में, तो हमें कितने लॉट अप्लाई कर सकते हैं और कित करने चाहिए जो हमारा चांसेस बढ़े अलॉटमेंट का?
ओके, सो सी बेसिकली ये इंफॉर्मेशन आपको है ना BOA से मिल सकती है, which is the basis of allotment later. Yeah. Now I've just opened SD detail BOA just to give you an idea as an example. Okay. Now what happens is that in SME IPO for HNI applications, the allocation happens on proportional basis at a number of lot sizes level. So I'll just explain you with some number. So for an example, if you see over here, for 2000 shares, yeah, so that means 2 lots. There were total 4000. Let me open it up bigger. Yeah. All right. So for 2 lots, there were total 4,841 application which came. Yeah. All right, which is the 6.6% of the total subscription, and proportionately they were able to allocate only 47 out of 4841. Yeah. So if you see the ratio here, sorry, 47 out of 4841. So around 0.97% chance was there for people who applied for 2 lots of this. Yeah. However, if we look at 3 lots, yeah, so for 3 lots there were 732 application which was there, and out of which 11 people got allocated. So 11 out of 732. So you can see your chances of allocation increased from 0.97 to 1.5 when you increase your application amount by 1 lot over here. Okay. So similarly, based on your amount that you have, if you go for a higher allocation, for an example, let's see, everybody got so for an example, somebody who applied for 175 lots, so 7 out of 8 people got the allocation. Yeah. So the chances is much higher once you increase your numbers, lot sizes, and yeah, that's how it happens. And again, what happens is that, for an example, let's continue with the 2000 shares example. Yeah. Now, once they decided, okay, 47 people will get the allocation, then there is a lottery which happens out of this 4,841 people, and 47 lucky people out of this will get one lot of SD retail. Now, if you look at the SD retail's overall subscription, which was 97 times. So somebody who has applied for 98 lots, yeah, then that person would have got assured allocation. So if we see 98,000 and above, so yeah, so 97, there were three guys, and okay, somehow only one got it. Okay, 99. No, sorry, we'll have to look at the category wise. Sorry. So NII, it was 207 category. My bad. Yeah. So anybody who has applied for 208 lots would have got that 100 confirm allocation. Yeah. So yeah, something like this. So this guy who has applied for 32 lakhs 82,000 lots basically got 40,000 shares allocated to him. Yeah. Kalpin bhai, does that answer your question?
ये सर पोस्ट देता है ना, सर पोस्ट देता है ना, जो बाद अलॉटमेंट हुआ उसके बाद क्या देता है, बराबर ना?
ये अलॉटमेंट हुआ उसके बाद ही आता है बेसिस ऑफ अलॉटमेंट.
हाँ, तो इससे हम थोड़ा गेस कर सकते हैं कि प्रिलिमिनरी के कितने लॉट अप्लाई करना चाहिए, तो बहुत ज्यादा
Exactly.
लॉट है.
See, the problem is that if you have this kind of money, yeah, see, let's understand how much money is needed for a one confirmed lot, yeah. So 207, that is the subscription into one lot is of 1,000, yeah.
1,30,30,000 कह रहा हूँ.
Okay, so multiplied by 1,000. So this many number of shares you need to apply for, and the amount is into 131, yeah. So you'll have to put roughly 3 crore worth of application to secure one lot, okay.
बराबर. ओके.
And it opened at what? It opened at just 12 rupees or 15 rupees, yeah. So you opened at 145, okay. तो आपको बेनिफिट कितना मिलेगा? 131 से 145. So you get only 14 rupees that you got out of this issue, yeah. Even after putting 3 crore, yeah. So sometimes maths does not work out, yeah.
ओके.
Okay.
इसमें
Whenever we
सर टू
see,
लॉट, हाँ सर, इसमें 2 लॉट, 4 लॉट, 5 लॉट, 6 लॉट वाले को अलग करके उसमें से अलॉटमेंट करते हैं, ऐसा उनका एक ग्रुप बन जाता है, 2 लॉट वाले इतने, 4 लॉट वाले इतने, सब करके.
sorry, can you
ऐसा
repeat
ही
that?
हुआ ना? हाँ, इसमें सर 2 लॉट वाले इतने, 3 लॉट वाले इतने, 4 लॉट वाले इतने, उसका एक ग्रुप बनता है और उसमें से अलॉटमेंट होता है.
Correct, exactly. उनका लॉटरी निकलता है उसमें से, okay. See, proportionately, so here again I'll show you, yeah. So as you can see, दो लॉट वाले, there were 4,841 people, yeah. Okay.
हाँ बराबर.
That constitute of total 6.6% of the total issue, okay. And they were allocated 47 lots total, okay.
बराबर.
So it is less than 1% allocation that will be given to this set of folks who applied.
तो मेन लाइन में भी ऐसा ही होता है, मेन लाइन आईपीओ में भी लॉट
नहीं,
एचएनआई
नहीं,
कैटेगरी में?
नहीं, मेन लाइन में ऐसा नहीं होता है. मेन लाइन में आपको प्रोपोर्शनल नहीं होता है. वहां पे आपको, आपने सपोज स्मॉल एचएनआई किया तो सबको 14 लॉट्स मिलेंगे. बिग एचएनआई किया तो आपको व्हाटएवर कितना है, 20, और मैं भूल गया एक्चुअली. Just to double check, I'll just open one of the mainline IPO, yeah. So let's say arcade developer, okay. So the category is like this: retail. तो रिटेल में आपने 13 लॉट्स तक करोगे तो रिटेल में गिना जाएगा. अगर किसी ने 1 लॉट किया और किसी ने 13 लॉट भी किया, सबको 1 लॉट ही मिलेगा. SHNI which is less than 10 lakhs. So वहां पे अगर आप देखते हो, so that means from 15 lots to 71 lots तक. Okay. जिन लोगों ने अप्लाई किया, they will only got 11650 number of shares only. Okay. और
तो किसी को एक मिला और किसी को 2 मिला होगा, एवरेज लिखा होगा ना इसमें।
नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होगा, सभी को एक ही लॉट मिलेगा। इसमें जितने भी लोग, अगर इसका बास्केट ऑफ अलाउंस आप ओपन करते हो, everybody will get one single lot, but here that is not the case. Here many people will get more than one lot as well. अगर आप यहाँ पे देखोगे, so for an example, see, for an example, number of person, only one person, but he got 2 lots. Yeah. This guy, one person got allocated, but he got 3 lots. Okay. Here you see that allocation is 3 lots, 4 lots, 6, 9, 10 lots, 55 lots, 22 lots. So the allocation will vary based on the proportional amount that you apply into the IPO, which is not the case for Arcade. यहाँ पे सबको अगर कितना भी बड़ा एप्लीकेशन क्यों नहीं गया, they will only get 1:1. Okay, उनको either they will get this amount, either they'll get 110 shares. If for all the people who applied from 1 lot to 13 lot, everybody will get only 110. They'll not get a single share more. Those who applied from 14 lots to 71 lots, 15 lots to 71 lots, they will get 1650 shares only. And those who applied from 70 lots to whatever, they'll only get 7920 shares only. They'll not get a single share more.
Okay, sir.
Okay, all right. Next question. Okay, so if there are no more questions, then we can end the call.
Thank you, Chantanji, for a lovely session.
Thank you, sir.
I will be putting up the recording by evening on the YouTube. Since this is the clinical hours, I never expected the hall to be full, the room to be full.
Okay.
So I will upload it. You can share then the link with your friends also. Thank you everyone for joining and understanding. Any questions? There is a group in which Chintanji is there, IPO group, Let's Learn. You can just post your questions there.
Thanks everyone. Bye. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much, sir.